Happy Friday.
Wow. Happy Friday.
Hello and happy Friday. Thank you for coming and watching us live here on Facebook, Insight Protection Studios, live here in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Robert Morales, our CEO Network. Good people, better business, discovering the best of you. For the next hour, we're going to be talking to a very special guest of mine, talking about her life, her business, and about the cybersecurity stuff. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and type them in on the bottom of the screen and we'll get to them as we go. If you're watching us live, give us a little heart emoji because we love the loves. And if you're watching us in the replay, give us a little wow emoji because wow, I can't believe you're not watching us live. Find us here on Facebook as well as some other platforms. If I can pull them up quickly. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Our CEO Network at ourceonetwork.com. Like that. So with that said, some changes. We got some things moving around and I'm going to introduce our very special guest because that's what we do. We talk to businesses and people. So originally from Michoacan, Mexico, former project manager, director of Latin America at Blair Singer, currently studies kinesiology, kinesiology. I'm sure she's going to correct me in a minute, at Arizona State University, owner and co-founder of Geekitek. Please welcome Miss Angela Solorio.
Hi, thank you guys for having me on here. And wow, you do thorough background checks. I love it.
Well, I mean, we got to bring a live studio audience. I mean, just happen to be on my phone. But that's what we do. Hello, Miss Angela.
Hello, hello.
Okay,
Thank
so
you
I
guys
am
for having
alone
me.
today, and I'm going to try and manage this as best I can. So
Okay.
from that point on, let's find out a little bit about you. So you want to give us a little rundown about who you are and what you're here to talk about briefly?
Yeah, absolutely. For the past 10 years, I've dedicated my life to becoming a certified ethical hacker. That's a really fancy
Oh boy.
way of saying that I do security audits, I hack networks for the right reasons. So I get hired to hack these networks, find their vulnerabilities, and create their patches or security patches. And 4 years ago, after working with so many businesses, we actually started our own internet company. So today we're GeekFi Internet,
Oh
the
wow.
first the first internet company in Arizona, created and owned and operated by a female Hispanic.
Hold on, let me get
Thanks.
get my audience back on there. Oh, you ran out. They went home. Congratulations. That's really awesome
Thank
feat there.
you.
You know, and there's also another big feat before we kind of get into the business structure. That's in the next quarter, maybe the second quarter of our show is getting to talk about your business. You had another feat. You just hit the big 3-0, right?
Yes, I just had my 30th birthday.
I know,
May 22nd was my 30th birthday.
and normally I don't do this, but you did put it as a public picture.
Yes, I
And it
did.
did have your business logo on there. So I took liberties and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ask her about this one. So I think I like who I am becoming. That's very interesting. Who are you becoming, Miss Solorio?
I am becoming an independent woman and embracing that. See, my background, I come from a very traditional Hispanic background. We weren't necessarily super religious. I mean, we did have a good Christian background, but we weren't the type of family that went to church every Sunday. But
Yeah.
there was still a lot of small co- country traditional beliefs, like gender roles, for example. My father, by the time I was born, my father actually already had his own business going. He started a landscaping company.
Yeah.
And I remember growing up, I loved going to work with him. I loved just being around him, being outside with him. And when I was around in my early 20s, I remember asking him, "Can I work with you? Can I help you expand the business? Can we do something together? Can we make this better?" And one of the things that he said was, "This isn't a woman's job.
Oh,
This
wow.
isn't what women do." And I remember another thing that he said to me. He said, I wish your brothers thought like you did." Meaning if my brothers if my brothers thought how I did, the company would be awesome. But because it's me and I'm a girl, this isn't for me. So, I never grew up wanting to be an entrepreneur. I never grew up
Yeah.
wanting to own my own business. It was just something that happened to me. So when this did happen, I dedicated a lot of time in personal development because I had a very difficult time seeing myself as a business owner.
Oh, that's really interesting. I mean, so I guess you're kind of born into it,
Hmm.
and was there additional, I guess, barriers, because that's obvious a gender one, it's kind of a culture one. You're 30 years old, so I'm guessing when you were little, it was in the 90s, and so there was still some transitions and kind of
Yes,
some lingering bias, I think, that's different today in 2020. Um,
there definitely was. And like I said, my parents come from a small town in Michoacan, Mexico. So my father grew up in an era where it was wrong for women to show their ankles. I mean, can you
oh
imagine
boy,
what,
this is
what
Mexico, right? That's not-
Yes, yes, this is
Oh,
in a
wow.
small town in Mexico. And my mother, when she was growing up, she went to school for about middle school, and then
Yeah.
she learned how to cook, she learned how to be a woman, um, to take care of her husband. And that's just how it was. That's just how they grew up. So I don't blame them for anything, but it was my job growing up to be able to overcome those barriers, because
Yeah.
one of the things that we've always learned is, I was fortunate enough, let me retract my thoughts. I was fortunate enough in 2013 to find a very important mentor and 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 business figure in my life
Yeah.
named Blair Singer. He's actually a rich dad advisor. He's local to Arizona. He's an incredible person. But one of the things that he taught me was your business cannot grow if you're not growing. So, what that meant to me was that in order for your business to grow, in order for anything that you want in your life to actually happen,
Yeah.
your mind needs to be growing. You need to be growing inside. And that part of that is finding the belief systems that you were taught and that don't serve you anymore, and changing your own story so that you can create the future that you want, so that you can become the person that you want to become.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is, and I think I connect with that a little bit too, because when I was growing up, or I should say, when I was growing up, I faced a lot of similar stuff, but not as a girl, of course. But you never know. um,
No
but
judgment here if you did.
that's why I shave my head. I mean, I had to make it very clear I was not a girl. No, but so some of the barriers that I face, coming into my own business, was family, and I think that's articulated with anybody that wants to kind of be an entrepreneur. They have to face the closest people to them, and for you,
Absolutely.
obviously, was your dad kind of saying, you can't do this. You're a girl. What was that one thing that hit you that said, you know what, I have to move past that. I can't let my dad, because essentially, I'm guessing in Mexico,
Hmm.
you were destined to be that house mom or that housewife with 40 kids and supposedly to be happy. What was that
Well,
moment for you?
my father's what my father thought was successful for me, and my mom as well, was to get a good degree, get a good job as like a translator, like a good desk job, translator, a teacher, something that'll give me the weekends off with the 401k, what they considered to be the American dream at the time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's not me. I get really bored behind the desk. I'm definitely a hands-on individual. I have a lot of energy. I love being out in the field. I love talking to people. I love connecting. I love sales, right? So
Yeah.
being behind the desk, that just wasn't me. And that turning point when I realized that, um, what they wanted from me versus who I really was, I needed to I needed to accept who I was first.
Yeah.
And I needed to come to peace that I might not make them happy, but they, just like how they had the opportunity to make their life and choose their route in life, I have that right as well. And so I had to learn through a lot of spiritual teachers and mentors and books. I had to learn that, as much as I love my family, as much as I feel that I owe them a lot because they did contribute very positively in my life. At the end of the day, I have the right to live my life on my terms, and that's okay. And if they can't accept me for that, that's okay too, because I'm not responsible for their happiness. Nobody's responsible for their happiness. Only they are. Because I would encounter things where if I was I was having issues with them even just going to school. If I went to college and I was out for too long, they'd be calling me, "Where are you? What are you doing? It's past 8 o'clock. Why are you out?" Or if I was working, "Hey, I thought you were said you were gonna get off at 9. It's 10." I'm like, "Listen, guys, I'm closing." Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And so, yes.
And speaking about family, I did want to bring up one picture. We're coming to the end of our first segment. I did want to ask you, how family does impact you in that, and ask you about this picture. Who are these people here?
Oh, yes.
And this is
Yes.
from your public website. So I'm not
Yeah,
like,
you're not grabbing things randomly.
I know I'm an
Absolutely.
absolute troll, but when it says public and it's on your business page, I go for it. So this was on there. So who are these two people here?
So that's my head technician and business partner, Jan Fernandez, and that's my son, Angela Solorio. Um, right, what they're doing, one of the things that has always been important to me
Yeah.
is being able to have my son with me, being able to travel with him. I think growing up, the only time I was able to spend with my family was working with them, which is odd. It sounds very odd, but my family is very hardworking. And that was the only time we spent together. So I remember when I got pregnant and I told myself, well, if I want to make a good life for myself and I want to continue to do what I do best, I need to start my own business.
Yeah.
That's honestly when I was pregnant with my son, and I was thinking about what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? The first thing that came to my mind was I'm going to start my own business, because that's the only way I can have him with me. That's going to be the only way I get to choose my clients, and I'll be able to take him with me if I need to, or I'll be able to make my own schedule. So for me, that was very, very important. And I remember you asking that question, where like what what was the turning point that made you become an entrepreneur? It was honestly the moment I became pregnant. Before that, I was really happy with corporate environment. I was really happy with working 11, 15 hours straight for another company, another corporation. That's I was okay with that. But then I realized I can't be doing that when I have a son. I can't be doing that if I want to participate in future activities with my son. And that's what really lit me up to start my own business.
Yeah, and I think part of the learning lesson as a parent is that the actions you take, your children will emulate and take after you. And so if you're in that mindset of like, like your dad, who's probably grown up years and years and generations, like, hey, this is how life is.
Hmm.
He's in that moment taught you that. Those are those things we
Absolutely.
have to always reflect on and think about as parents. So,
And
uh,
I love the structure that I have. I have 15 technicians. All of my technicians are positive role models to my son. Whenever my son goes with me on the field, everybody looks after him. Everybody wants him to be good. Everybody wants to teach him how to do different things. My son is 4 years old and he knows how to use a drill. He can make holes. He can screw in nails. At 4 years old, he can fix his own toys. Every time I get him new toys, he takes them apart, he puts them back together, and it's amazing. But it's because I was able to bring him with me. And he's also bilingual. He speaks English and Spanish. And I really attribute all of those positive things in his life with the ability to bring him with me. I still can't I can't go anywhere or see any of my clients without them asking me, "How's
where's
Moises? How's your son?
yeah, and I
Where
do.
is he?" They ask me, "Where is he? Why didn't you bring him today?"
And
And I love that.
we'll actually get into the meat of your business, but we are at our first commercial break. So I'm going to try to get this done in 1 minute. So if you like what you're seeing, please keep hitting those heart buttons. If you like the wows, I like the wow emoji just because it's different. But just keep hitting that. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them in at the bottom here. And I'm going to try and get this done in a minute. I've been practicing, and hopefully Dora doesn't kill me. Practicing now. You see that? So I'm honored to thank one of our long-term sponsors, Basaka Art Photography. Owner Dora Basaka has a photo art studio here in Scottsdale, located at 7121 South 5th Avenue, Suite 15 in Scottsdale. Basaka Art Photography has not only sponsored our marketing events, they have coordinated with our CEO network for all our print marketing needs, which have included banners, which is the one you see behind me today, logo backgrounds, and even polo shirt embroidery. Basaka Art Photography specializes in unique photo services for portrait, family, social, and private events. Find them here on Facebook at Basaka Art Photography or basakaart.com, or give them a call at 480-479-2684. Do you like that? I was practicing that before you got here.
Man, I love it. And
I try to articulate
Basaka is actually a really good friend of mine as well.
Oh, you know
she
her?
was the first person to actually take business headshots for me and my team. So I definitely do recommend her. She's an incredible soul, and she will definitely get the best version of you on camera.
Yeah, she's always happy. But
yes,
as much as we love Miss Dora, we got to continue to talk about Geekitek. Am I saying right, Geekitek, or is it Geekitek?
Geekitek, absolutely. You're
So
saying it correctly.
I did get that. And you're a local business here, and you service what areas?
We actually, now we're traveling. We're even going to different states.
On mobile.
Really, it's just if the job is right, we are going. Especially now with the internet, we're traveling to various parts of Arizona, mostly rural. We're actually even working on creating a partnership with certain native communities to bring in internet as well.
So is it local, any community like Salt River, Gila River, those type
Yes,
of?
they're local. It's the Gila River and the Salt River.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And and I guess I forgot to ask you last segment, what age, I guess, what year did you come to the United States?
So I was actually born here, and we traveled back and forth a lot. I did all of my school here in Arizona. I do have people tell me, oh, okay, well, so that means you're American, you're not Mexican. And I say, well, I am Mexican because I remember growing up, every paperwork I had to fill out, I had to put that I was Mexican. And when people ask me where I'm from, according to the federal government, I'm Mexican, and I'm from Mexico. And so, I'm proud to be a Latina. I'm not ashamed of that. I love being Mexican American.
Yeah.
I know right now there's so much controversy on that topic alone, right? On how do you identify yourself? What makes you, right?
Yeah.
But when people ask me, where are you from? I say, well, I'm from Mexico. I'm Mexican American. And just like how my last name was inherited to me, I believe that the state in Mexico where I'm from is also inherited to me. So I always tell people I'm from Michoacan, Mexico. And yes, I am a U.S. citizen, but according to the federal government, I'm a Mexican from Mexico.
The IRS.
But I go to Mexico and they're like, you're American. And I'm like, I don't even know. There's a song that actually says, no soy de aquí, no soy de aquí ni de allá. I'm not from there. I'm not from here. I just am who I am, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, you articulate yourself very well. So, and it's very obvious your head is in America, but your heart is in Mexico. So.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember where you come from and to embrace that, because that's what makes America beautiful, the melting pot, the culture, the history, the fact that I believe what makes America great is just that the unity of all cultures.
No, that's awesome. And it does play into, your business and who you are. I'm going to play a short clip. This is, again, off your site, so I'm not infringing anything. So if you want to just talk about a little bit about what the core business is. The core business is
build.
Yeah. So tell me what's going on here with this.
So we did this specific video to show how we custom build computers. Yeah. When we say custom build, we literally mean custom build. You get to choose everything from your motherboard to your CPU to your RAM to your power to everything right there.
I did see a couple shots of like nails. So I'm guessing you get hands in and you're like knee deep in
We
this stuff.
get hands in all the way. It well, every time I meet with a customer, one of the first things I ask them is, where are you right now, and where do you want to take your business? Because my job is to build you the technology
Yeah.
that will take your business to where you want to go. See, we're not the type of people that'll tell you, because we are hackers, we're the type of people that you get to tell us what you want the technology to do for you. We don't come in and just install whatever's already made. We literally make it to what you want it to do.
Yeah.
And that video was perfect to show how we do custom built computers, because people will tell us, well, why is your quote so expensive when I can go to another company or another corporation and get it for half the price? We say, well, yes, you're getting a pre-made computer that you can't upgrade. The moment it dies, it's dead. You can't do anything to it to revive it. You have to buy a whole new system. Ours, because we literally go from, we put everything in, from the nails to the CPU to all the other parts. You get to choose everything, and whenever you need to upgrade, all you have to do is just replace that part. It's awesome.
But and I guess the question for me is like, I don't know anything about computers, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing there's service warranties and there's warranties on the item. So if something
Mm-hmm.
goes wrong, we can always, I can always call you.
Absolutely. We always do them our warranty is, every time before we buy the parts, we test the parts individually before even installing them together.
Yeah.
So there's a really, really unique process that it goes through every time we custom build it. We get it, we test every part, we put it together, we test it again, and then we go and give it to you. So everything is pretty guaranteed to work. But if for some weird reason it doesn't, there is a 14-day warranty on any labor after that. And then there's a 1-year manufacturer's warranty on every part. And to be honest with you, our warranties have proven to be better than any of the warranties the other stores will give people. They only give them a 30-day money back guarantee. But at the end of the day, you're out of a computer.
Yeah, because
And
my
mhm,
internet's been running slow and my email's been acting up. Maybe we can
we can
talk.
talk about that. Yeah.
Hello. And you did mention, I'm going to play another video real quick, but you did mention you guys are uh, ethical hackers. If I get
Yes.
the verbiage correct, do you want to describe kind of what this is all about here and who that guy is?
Yes. So that's John Fernandez, my partner. He was the one who actually taught me how to hack. He's an incredible genius. We met in the industry. We started working together. We worked really well together. So
That
we
guy's
started,
stealing
we just
something. There's like he's over there stealing your stuff. Este vato. You gotta watch him. Sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was
No.
I was taking on.
That video actually just shows some of the technology that we use. We do anything from home installs to nightclubs to restaurants. We can work with POS systems.
Yeah, that's what I was
We
going to
do
ask you. Though
phones.
I did see that POS system there. So what does it mean to be an ethical hacker though? I guess it
So an
sounds
ethical hacker is
intrusive.
it's a fancy way of saying that we choose to hack for the right reasons. We choose to be proactive hackers to secure networks. See, there's a variety of hackers. There's a white hat hacker, which is what we're considered. There's a gray hat hacker, and there's a black hat hacker.
Oh boy.
So a white hat
I know
hacker, I
so
know
many different varieties out there.
so many.
And just can you wear a
A
cape or
white
something?
hat, right? A white hat hacker will be an individual who ethically chooses to hack to prevent others from being hacked.
Huh,
If that
that's
makes
right.
any sense. That's where the security audits come in. And then there's the black hat hackers. Those are the type of hackers who will steal your information. They will sell it in the black market. That's where you see the identity thefts. Or one of the biggest scams that the black hat hackers community did back in 2018 was called the penny scam. What they did is they would go through. They utilized QuickBooks, because you know how in QuickBooks you could integrate your business accounts.
Yeah.
So they would hack into QuickBook accounts and they would steal pennies and cents at a time.
Huh.
But
Nobody
millions
would
of
notice.
accounts, nobody noticed. And nobody was going to sit there and fight over the phone for 30 minutes for 50 cents, right? It'd just be like, oh, that's a weird charge. Okay, what's next?
Yeah, dismiss it. Yeah.
But they ended up stealing millions and millions of dollars worth. I think it was an accumulation of over $30 million that they stole in one year through the penny scam. So we're the type of hackers that prevents that from happening.
Yeah.
By securing networks, by finding where the vulnerabilities are, by making sure things are updated. And then there's the gray hat hackers. So a gray hat hacker, they're the type of people that they won't hack with your permission, but they have to have a good mission. A really good gray hat hacker was a young kid. I don't remember his name, but I can put it in the comments afterwards. There's a young girl in his high school who was raped. And she was actually, the suspicion was that she was raped by a few members of the football team. And the school wasn't doing anything to punish or investigate it thoroughly. So this young kid, he actually hacked into the school security system camera, grabbed the footage of her being raped, and then put it on the website of the school. So it's like there's no denying who did it or what happened. Did he hack? Yes. Was it incorrect for him to hack into the system and do it? Yes. But did he have a good mission? Yes. So that's what makes a gray hat hacker a gray hat hacker. You're still hacking without permission, but there's a big reason behind it. Another popular gray hat hacker was a gentleman who lived in Russia, and he would hack millions of dollars every year. And when they finally caught him, they asked him, "Hey, what are you doing with all this money?" And he actually had various orphanages all across Russia that he would sustain. He actually used all of that money to build these orphanages and keep the children fed. Is it wrong? Yes. But did he have a really, really good reason behind it? Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're very ethical in that regard. But as we're coming to the last segment of this part, or the last minutes of this part, do you want to kind of run through kind of your services so we can just capture what you do, not only the ethical hacking, not only the system creations, but just
So,
kind of
right now with COVID-19, some of the things that we're doing a lot is installing security systems. Another thing we do install security systems. We're doing a lot of custom built computers because people are realizing that the pre-built ones don't last as long. And they really are starting to enjoy being able to create their own computer. And then we also go to businesses. We set up QuickBooks, we set up QuickBooks servers, we do cloud backups, we do another thing that we're doing right now is we're doing cable runs. A lot of people that are having to work from home, a lot of their homes are homes that were built before the 80s, and they're beautiful homes, but at the end of the day, the wiring is still very old. So they're having to run new cables. We do that for you. We also have our own phone system. So we set up VoIP phone lines as well. We have our own internet company. So if you're unsatisfied with who you have right now, if you're unsatisfied with how much you're paying, like if you're paying over $100,
well, I'm always unsatisfied.
If you're paying over $100 and you feel that your internet is slow or you have data caps, definitely give us a call. We more than likely are able to help you.
Okay, so as we get to the next part, we're going to be taking a small commercial break, and hopefully everything is working on my end, because God knows I need the help. So, so just hang in 1 minute and we'll get back to Miss Angela, a little bit more about her business and maybe a little bit about her life too. No, that's the wrong one. Just kidding.
We are a community.
We are a community.
We are a community.
A community of entrepreneurs and owners.
A community of entrepreneurs and owners.
A community of entrepreneurs and owners.
We face many challenges,
But we lead with our hearts.
And we push forward.
Push forward.
We
push
forward.
To overcome any obstacle.
And we have found a place
That we can share ideas to support one another.
And help each other.
When it matters most.
Come join us.
Join us.
Come join us because this is our
This is our CEO network.
I can't do it. I can't smile at the end.
And again, thank you for joining us here on Facebook Live with Miss Angela Solorio from Geekitek. We love the love, so keep those hearts coming along. If you have any questions, we're going to be getting to the question portion, the last 15 minutes of the show today. We end at 2 o'clock. We always try to end at 2 o'clock. Sometimes we go a little bit over. But if you have those questions, go ahead and type them in underneath, and we'll get to them as we go along. So our paths have crossed before, but this is actually the first time we've actually been able to talk. Right, Miss Angela?
Yes.
So
yes,
I did want to share a couple of photos that I had to go to the archives. I went down deep.
Let's do it.
Oh boy. So
I better look good in them if I'm in them.
Oh shit. We'll find out. I might get a phone call after this. Be like, why did you post that picture? Like, I don't know. Let's see. Do you remember this one?
Yes, I
Way
do
back
remember this one. That was really fun. I loved what you guys did there. I love that you gave both a perspective from
men and women.
Men and women. Yes, that was awesome.
And so, yeah, this was from the Morales Business Network. This is pre our CEO network. This was a different marketing event. This was kind of the catalyst and one of those first few steps our CEO network took to be what it is today. And we're still growing.
You know what I love about, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I really wanted to touch base on that. One of the things that I found was very unique about the CEO network was the fact that you make it really interactive. You make it easy for us to really connect with other business owners. I feel sometimes other networking events that we've gone to, they can be fun, but a lot of the people stay with the people that they already know and they don't venture out or they're a little shy. Yeah. But every time I've gone to your events, they're very unique in the sense that you find a way to make sure that people who haven't connected connect. I love that.
We try our best. And, I think coming from the heart of an introvert, I've always hated networking. So it's kind of funny that, we have a networking group and do these events. I always hated going to them. And so try to reinvent that and really do it.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh boy. Hold on. How's my hair? All right. Okay, go ahead.
So you may have hated going to them, but why did you feel it was important to go to them?
Oh, well, so in every aspect of anytime you start a business, anytime you start talking to people, like the one thing they advise you to do is, get on Facebook or get on, you got to do this, you got to do that. So one of the things was you got to network. You got to go out and meet people. And one way to do that is to go out and network with these networking groups. And you're like, okay. So then you start trying to figure out what it all comes down to. And the thing I hated, the thing that resonated the most was being in a room, not knowing anybody, but trying to get to know people and do it in a genuine way. So I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. I'm handing a business card, sharing information, and without any idea that they're even going to call back, or because people tend to go to those things very self-interested, and mm-hmm. the one thing we've tried to really turn and change a perspective on is you can still connect with people in a way that's genuine and sincere. We just have to teach you how to do that. So that's where that comes from, and that's why it started that way.
And one of the things I've seen you do is the personality tests.
Oh, yes.
How
We lost you. What was your question again?
how have you seen that be beneficial to the CEO network?
Uh,
Knowing or how or even maybe a little deeper, how does that help entrepreneurs when they're meeting new people?
So again, with the personality testing, what I discovered very early on is that I approached business in a very selfish way. Hand out business cards. That's a very selfish thing. I want you to get to know me, but I'm going to take your card and maybe I'll call you. I don't know. I don't have any benefit of calling you, but I know you're trying to do the same thing as me. So it ends up being very, very selfish. And I've always hated that part of it. And then I lost your question.
That's actually that's a really unique point of view. I had never seen how selfish that was, but honestly, deep down inside, I felt the same way. I think one of the best suggestions I ever got were from a business mentor was, these cards are money. These cards cost you something. So don't go around just throwing them away, because it's literally like you just throwing away money. Give them to a real prospect. Give them to somebody who's really going to call you, somebody who you really made that connection with. Because you're right, it is actually selfish to just kind of be like, call me, without making that connection, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're so invested on what you're going to say, elevator speech. You're so, and you probably studied this script over and over again. And like, hi, my name is Rob Morales. I'm part of RCO Network, and this is what we do. This is how I do it, and this is what we're going to do for you. You know, and it's not genuine. And it drove me crazy. It's like, how can I change this for people that are really starting and really struggling? And so part of what we coach and what we do on the teams, and that's actually kind of an interesting segue, because what we do in our classes before the whole COVID thing was to introduce different aspects of learning and self-growth and self-development. People still want the topical, like, how do I get on Facebook and what do I do? This is a picture of you at one of our classes. So
that was a fun day. Thank you.
Yeah, I tried to like highlight the picture a little bit more, but I don't know.
That's okay.
So one of the things that our CEO Network changed was the classroom format, and really teaching the DISC assessment. So the personality piece of that. That's one of my favorite things to do, is not only for a person to understand their personality, but for you to understand other people's personality, because all honesty, you need 4 elevator pitches. You don't need just one, because the one is about yourself. If you have different elevator pitches to different personality types, you're going to connect with them in very different ways.
Absolutely, because not everybody leads with business. There are people who they need to like you, and they need to know that you're a real person before they even talk business with you. And I've seen that a lot, especially like in the Hispanic business community. Everybody will be nice and listen to your pitch, but nobody's going to buy from you until they feel that they actually like you. And if you really think about it, business is a very intimate thing. In particular for us, for example, when we go into people's businesses, we're literally getting to see the infrastructure of everything. We're literally getting to see the nitty-gritty of things. We are going in to see what's wrong to make it better. And that's really tough. It's one of the hardest things in life, I guess, is actually realizing that you're wrong and work at making it better.
Yeah, the one thing I wish people would understand is they need people. And so much of an entrepreneur is they really are selfish with their business. They don't want to grow. They don't want other people to be influencing on there. I don't know how it was when you met your partner. It's like you have your own ideas of the way things should happen, and he obviously does too. And when that's a conflict, you're like, no, it's mine. I created this part. I created that part.
When I started my business with my partner, what was the most difficult part was me accepting my role. Because remember, going back to the story, I came from a very traditional background. So at the end of the day, I could have started this business by myself to a certain degree. But I never would have started it by myself, because I always felt safe and more comfortable having a man next to me. So when we started this business, I remember him saying, you're the business person. You're the person that goes out and talks to people. I'm just a technician. You tell me what to fix and I'll fix it. And I remember saying, okay, that sounds good. You stay in your lane, I stay in my lane. But then there was those times when we would have difficult clients or clients that I was intimidated by. And I would I'd beg him, please come with me to this meeting. Please just talk with them.
Yeah.
And he would tell me, I don't like talking to people.
Yeah, I mean, you really.
But we need to get paid.
and then really, you're the face of the business, because I see you more than I see your partner.
Yes,
and you're the always
because
one speaking.
he doesn't like to be out, and he doesn't like to talk to people. He just says, I want to fix things. Tell me what to fix. Tell me where to go, and I'll do it.
And see, I'm very much like him.
I don't want to talk to people.
I'm very much like him. So, I hated the whole networking thing, and so that was the main driving force of, like, I'm tired of this. I don't want to go talk to people that I don't even think are listening to me. But then it also means
when that stuff when it brought the difficulties, like in our working relationship, it was when I would want him to go out of his lane because I wasn't confident enough to do what I needed to do in my role. And that's where the personal development comes in. And tips and tricks, like what you're saying with the personality, with learning other people's personalities, is very, very helpful, because I was terrified of going into a room and talking one-on-one with certain people and not knowing how to talk to them. And that's why I felt I needed him to come with me, until one day he said, listen, I'm just a technician. Leave me alone. Yeah. And then that's when I had to go get coaching and learn how to overcome objections. And through all of that, all I've learned is that what it really comes down to it is you having self-confidence to be able to talk to somebody one-on-one, self-confidence in the sense of being able to overcome objections and not take rejection personally.
Yeah, and it's a difference between short-term and long-term thinking. And so when you go to these traditional sales classes, they teach you to essentially win the day. Part of my career was working at Best Buy, and I did work for a grocery store too. But one of the mantras they had at Best Buy was, win the day, win the week, win the month, win the year, and always pushing different services, always pushing this. Get to know your client, but push this. And I hated that part of it. And again, that's a short-term mentality. When you think of long-term, sometimes long-term means listening to a client and being there when they're going through a divorce, or when they have a significant issue with their relationship with their spouse, and being present. And so again, this is kind of in the coaching piece of what the CEO Network does, but teaching some of these things for the long-term game. You don't necessarily see anything in the short term. And I think that's very evident in the whole COVID situation, where I think some of these businesses who are short-term thinkers are being impacted the most, and
absolutely.
The long-term people, I honestly haven't felt any impact. I mean, I could almost, other than going to the grocery store and seeing people in mass and seeing the numbers on the news, I literally, from my real estate business, I couldn't even see the impact of what's going on, other than losing a couple transactions. But due to people losing employment, really haven't seen an impact on that. And I want to give that credit to me caring about people, and not even about their business, just caring about their situation, just giving them a moment. I mean, you're not going to talk to all your clients in one day. You're not going to talk to them all in 1 month sometimes. I mean, I have close to 3,000 people in my client manager at this point. I don't talk to them all the time. But when you leave a moment and you leave a person a little bit better than who they were 2 minutes before you met them, that's the key to long-term success.
They will remember you. They will remember you, and you will be the first person that they think about. That's one thing we've always believed in as a company. If you serve the community will demand you to be there, will demand your presence. And that was every time going into anything, we always knew that we needed to serve first. And that's actually something I learned with my mentor, Blair Singer. He has this really cool chart about like the level. It's the level of like self-realization in business. And he said every time you start off in a new territory, you're invisible. Excuse me, you're invisible. So how do you go from being invisible to being known? You have to be of service. And I think a lot of businesses forget that. We get into the survival mode of, I need to make the sale, I need to close, I need to make money to pay the rent, I need to make money to feed the family. And we lose sight of serving. And we just start focusing on the numbers. And I've been guilty of that myself.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I have to go back and say, wait a minute. I need to serve first. And there's been times when serving has been very expensive. There's been times where we've done free things and got no marketing pretty much at that time. And it would cost us a lot of money. It put us in a situation where we didn't know if we were going to have enough money for rent when we were starting out. But at the end of the day, later we would get that phone call from somebody a few days later. Hey, I saw you at this event. Can you come over and take a look at my business? Or, hey, I heard you did this thing at this event. Can you come over and help me? I have a similar situation, similar problem. The universe and the community will always be good to you if you serve first.
I absolutely believe that. And that is another good segue into this next piece of it, because we have to pay the lights and the bills too. If you want to market your business here you market it with us here at Our CEO Network. We create your marketing videos. We offer social media management support and highlight you at your network marketing events. So instant message us here on Facebook at Our CEO Network for details about becoming an event sponsor, being participant in one of these online Zoom calls, and other marketing opportunities for you. Powered by DSODIA, Digital Social Media Management, and Insight Productions, the people responsible for all the lights and cameras you see going on right now. So before we end the show, Miss Angela Solorio, I do want to redirect people, or I should say direct people, to your site and how to get a hold of you, because you're a wealth of information. Not only do you know about basic computer services, but you are very fluent, I should say, in social media and some of those other things. So people have questions about that. You can contact Miss Angela here at Geekitek at angela@geekitek.com, also 602-598-2919, or just message Facebook, right? There's also, yes. I believe you have a face or an Instagram, which is essentially Facebook Lite, maybe. I don't know. It's an extension. That's you right there with a big screwdriver.
Yes.
Oh,
I love that screwdriver. That screwdriver has gone through 1.5 feet of cement, pure cement. I love that picture because that day was a very, very hard day. We couldn't drill through the cement wall, and that drill did it.
That's awesome. So we come to the question and answer portion. I did have some people ask some questions. I think, judging from a couple of them that did come in, and this is prior to the show, they have attended your social media classes before, which you do give, and I think you've done a couple through the network here. So keep your eyes open on Facebook for those Angela Solorio Facebook and social media classes as we present them, because we love you too. Or just come and visit Baby Yoda whenever you're bored. But
thank you.
A couple questions did come in. Megan from Chandler, with so many Zoom calls going on, how safe is it to be on Zoom? Should I worry about hackers? Which is interesting.
Yes, you should always worry about your cybersecurity. Yes, everything is hackable. The best thing you can do, though, is that you can implement technology in your home, for example, if you're using Zoom at home, to secure your network. We like to utilize a lot of equipment from Ubiquiti, because Ubiquiti allows us to see the traffic that's coming in, and when we set it up for customers, you can actually see through an app the traffic that's going through your network, what's connected in your network, what devices are connected in your network, how long they've been connected in your network, and you yourself can actually go and label them. So when you see an unknown network connected, an unknown device, connected to your network, or you see higher traffic than normal going through your network, which we also teach you how to read through your app, then you can we teach you how to do minor troubleshooting, or you can call us and we can take a look at your network. But yes, Zoom has been hacked. It was hacked actually a month ago, and that hack was terrible. It was a very terrible hack because it literally went in, it encrypted into people's hard drives, and it pulled all of their information. I mean, it was probably it pretty much took everything that was in your computer.
And I guess as a small business, you don't want your client information getting leaked out, or especially if it's a POS system. But I don't know if you'd be doing a Zoom call.
Exactly.
So I wonder, I wonder if a question came from that whole, was that Ring camera thing that came in?
Yes, even having Ring cameras, for example, if you have them on your network, there's a specific way that we put them in the network. See, when we go in and install certain things, we personally don't like Ring. There's so many vulnerabilities in Ring. Ring is one of the first things to be hacked always. So if somebody really wants that on their network, what we do is we create different networks. So it's one internet connection, but that one internet connection can be split into different things. So we would split it into your business network. We would split it into your family's network, and then we create what we call a guest Wi-Fi. So you have 3 networks with one internet connection, but everything is separate, kind of like your bank accounts is separate. Some people have separate bank accounts. I do. And everything serves a different purpose. So when those vulnerability issues happen, it doesn't take over your whole network. Does that make sense? So those are one of the things that we like to do. Those are one of the things that we love educating the community about. Yes, Zoom was hacked. It was a very, gosh, I want to say it was a very nasty hack, because it literally just took everything from people's computers. One of the ways that we personally were able to help people in that situation is we create remote cloud services. So with those remote cloud services is we pretty much put everything that your business needs in the cloud, and you remote into it through a VPN, a secure way. So literally Zoom could have hacked your computer at that time, and if you had a remote service systems, it wouldn't have taken any of your client information. So there's ways around it, because everything can be hacked, but there's ways to protect the information that needs to be protected. And in today's age, business owners really need to start educating themselves, because there is cybersecurity insurance, but we are going to be seeing an increase in lawsuits due to malpractice or business owners not doing their due diligence to protect their networks, protect their client information. You, Robert, for example, being a real estate, imagine how horrible it would be if somebody gave you all of their personal information and that personal information was stolen on your network, right?
That'd be bad, yeah.
That'd be bad. And if that person incurred over $1 million worth of damages due to identity theft, what is that person supposed to do? How are they supposed to prove that it was identity theft? A lot of times the people don't want to sue you, but in order for the government to take it off their record, they have to sue you to show that it wasn't their fault.
And I would say probably with the increase in the number of Zoom calls and the things that are going on web-based, as more businesses transition, we're going to be coming to see a lot of these issues and problems stem up. So I think for our entrepreneurs and business owners out there, just be very conscientious and maybe even give Angela a call, because that's what she specializes in. So next question, Miss Nancy from Mesa. I've seen your presentation on social media platforms. What can I do to boost my jewelry business on Facebook and Instagram? So I guess she's
jewelry. Oh my goodness, that's exciting.
I want to see that,
so
Nancy.
What I love about your industry is that it's very visual. Okay, you are going to sell through video, and awesome pictures. One of the things that I love doing is what I call cross-pollination. It's similar to what we're doing now. My company is on CEO Network's platform, and I'm getting exposure through CEO platform, and CEO is getting exposure through my platform. So that's what we call cross-pollination. Find other local influencers, and there's lots of them. And if you need some influencers, let me know. I can connect you with them. Find local influencers. Give them, send them some of your jewelry. Have them wear it and take a picture, or even have them do a review on it. That's going to be one of the best ways for you to sell your jewelry. It's through testimony, finding other influencers, and do cross-pollination.
Are we like cross-pollinating bees? Is that our role? I don't know, just something stupid that came to mind. So I got one more question, and we're running out of time too. We got about 3 minutes left. Anna from Chandler, I'm trying to start an online clothing business. Kind of similar, right?
Yes.
What can I do to stand out on a limited budget? So I'm guessing without more clarification, she may be paying for Facebook ads. Is that maybe, I don't know, Anna,
If you're talking about a limited budget, one thing I would recommend is you're going to need to invest in a wall. So find one wall in your home that nobody can touch. Like literally put a little gate around it, and keep the dog out, keep the kids out, keep the family out. Paint it a white wall, and literally just have that wall be your area where you take pictures of your clothing. You're going to need to invest in a good phone. I would recommend iPhone 8 or higher, or Android S8 or higher. Or you can think about like 2018 or higher, with at least 8 gigabytes RAM and storage of 64 gigabytes or more.
Yeah,
so those are just
some of the little things
some little things you can do. Invest in a good camera, invest in a wall that nobody can touch, and it's just for you to stand in front of it and take pictures. Ask your friends to take pictures, and wear your clothes, and cross-pollinate. That is the best way. People love hearing about other people. They don't want to hear you talk about your product. They want to hear other people talking about your product. It's more believable.
Yeah, and if I may add 2 cents to that question too, branding. So focusing on branding. If you check out Gary Vandercheck on YouTube, you can type in Gary. He's big on branding. So if you want to look him up, I suggest it on YouTube. But as we're nearing the end of our show, Miss Angela, I would like to plug your business one more time, Geekitek. If you could just give a 2-minute little thing about how to contact you. Or
Yes, please. I love getting WhatsApps or text messages at 602-456-5656. The phone number that you see up here is 602-598-2919. That's also another way to reach us directly to the office. But if you want to talk with me and you want to connect with me, talk about your business, maybe how we can help your business, I would definitely recommend sending me a text message, sending me a WhatsApp, or contacting me on social media. I don't always answer my phone, but I always answer text messages. Does that make sense?
I'm a big texter too. I get texts at like midnight sometimes, and I get the looks, across the bed, be like, it's business. I really promise.
And I promise you guys, we're the type of business that you come to us and you tell us what you want the technology to do for you. So it's limitless. We can literally create whatever you want. We've done it many times, and we love doing that. We love innovating. Your problems help us make the industry better.
Thank you, Ms. Solorio, for your time and for being here with us at our CEO Network. I appreciate it from me, Robert Morales, our CEO Network, and Baby Yoda off in the corner.
Hi, Baby Yoda.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.